Welcome everybody, this is Denny with my YouTube channel, Why Is This True? And joining me again today is Doug Brown, who started a movement called Touch the Water. And we did an interview a while back, and it was great. I had a lot of fun. Doug is my oasis. That's the kind of way I look at it, because it's such a positive thing. It's such a great idea. It's not controversial. I think it's great. I just love it. So thanks for joining me again, Doug. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks, Danny. I really appreciate it. I had a great time talking last time, so look forward to it.
Yeah.
Actually.
So it's kind of a healing message. It's an inclusive message. And if you allow me, I would like to read what you wrote for me last time, just so people could get a feel about what this is about. And It was so eloquent, so well written. I just want to read it. Okay. What if for one day humanity concentrated on the things and people we love and are grateful for? What if for one day the world forgot the superficial ideas that divide us and remembered the eternal truths that bind us? What if for one day we forgot about what we are against and concentrated on what we want and what we are for? What if for one day love and gratitude ruled our world? We propose a day, August 20th, 2016, or 2017 in this case, for the world to gather together as one at the water's edge and concentrate on the things and people we love. A day without political debate or religious arguments or any other divisive motivation. A day devoted to the love and gratitude we all feel and the water we all need. Participation is relatively simple. All you need to do is take some time that day and go physically touch some water close to you while thinking about love and gratitude in whatever way works for you. Last year, this would be 2015, last year an estimated 20,000 to 30,000 people participated worldwide. Some held group meditations and prayer sessions, while others had family get-togethers or just took a swim. Heck, you can sit at a desk with your feet in a bucket if that works for you. How you participate isn't as important as it is that you have fun and concentrate on love and gratitude as long as it is comfortable. Why do we do this? Despite our motivation for thinking so, the vast majority of us will agree that this world is not what we dreamt it to be. It is only one way for it to become that dream, and that is for us to make it so. First, we need to realize that we can, that we control our own destiny, and together we can make whatever world we dream up. Joining the mass of humanity in one simple gesture will symbolically join us as one and stimulate the kinds of interactions and understandings we need to shake off the old paradigms of negativity to begin building societies based on love and gratitude. We don't need a forced centralization of power to bring about global unity, but a joining of hearts and minds in a free choice of love. We use water because it is ubiquitous, nature to life, and its unique ability to act as a conduit and join our energies. Of course, we and plants and animals all need clean water to drink, but it goes deeper than that. All religious traditions use water in their most sacred ceremonies, not to mention the seemingly magical qualities of water we are just learning through the mysteries of quantum physics. Let's not forget the fact that we are made mostly of water. Simply put, water is life. Besides, who doesn't love a day at the beach or lake or river? August 20th, 2017, spread the word, touch the water. Beautiful, man.
Thanks. Yeah, I wrote that. That's what I was passing around. I guess I kind of messed up and left the 2016 on it when I was passing around this year. Too.
That's probably my mistake.
Oh, that was mine.
Well,
I'm not the first one to mention that.
Oh yeah. Well, I think this is actually in the description of the other video that we did.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where to begin with you, but what that says is basically it's our world. Let's stand up. Let's take it. And instead of being forced into some kind of Orwellian nightmare, let's be free. The way we're meant to be, like the animals, man. We're just as natural as the damn deer. Why aren't we as free? You know?
Right.
And it's because we live in this paradigm, and it's time to get past that paradigm.
Right.
I think most people see it, too.
Yeah.
Even people who aren't technically awake, I think, see that this world is wrong. It's just wrong.
Right.
It's hypocrisy. It's lies. It's just wrong.
Yeah.
So, and I think I don't know if you saw, I did an interview with Rex Bear at Leak Project the other day.
Oh, cool.
And I had actually had some interesting things. But one of the things, you get, I had a point. It sucks getting old, Denny.
Must be the water. No, but
in the middle of a sentence, you can feel the thought just leaving, and I'm trying to grab at it. It's gone.
It's okay. It's okay.
There was something in there.
I know. I know. Well, for now we can blame it on the water.
Blame it on something.
Yeah, it's hard to get a good glass of water anymore. But anyway, no, I just when actually Ciara told me about what you were doing, before the other interview, and I looked at it and I go, oh my God, I got to talk to this guy, and because that was kind of my, I was son born in Pisces. When I was a kid, we lived in Hawaii. I'd beg my mother take me up to the North Shore so I could go snorkeling. I'd be out there all freaking day, out 50 yards offshore waving at her, and go back down again, come in for lunch, go back out. It's been literally 8 hours in the ocean, like all day Saturday, every time I could get a chance. And then I had a career on a ship. I'd spent 10 years on an oceanographic research vessel out at sea. And then I painted seascapes, and then I was like, water. Every time I turn around, it's water this, water that. So so I have a real affinity for what you're doing here, and this is such a brilliant, simple idea. And it's like you say, it's It's about taking your power back and reconnecting with Earth. There's so many things encompassed in this idea.
I think it's kind of like an onion. There's multiple layers to it. There's the individual layer. There's the collective layer. There's the collecting with each other. There's connecting with the earth. There's connecting with yourself. There's a lot of different layers to it. The one thing I've learned that I feel I can hold on to is the more layers of truth there are to an idea, the more valid that idea is, the more it works. And like I told you last time, I'm obsessed with this thing. I can't get it out of my head, and I think about it all the time. In fact, I'm hoping to write a book about it this winter. Honestly,
Oh, excellent.
better. So I already got a name for the book called "Blessed by Bad Luck." So, because and the thing is, to get out of our power structure, we got to do something different. Did you think about the definition of insanity? Do you know
Right.
what the definition is?
Yeah, doing the same thing over and over again, each time expecting a different result.
Exactly. So how many times are we going to go walk on the streets or write a letter to our congressman or anything like that? How many billions of times are we going to do the exact same thing and get nowhere? So let's try something different. Instead of doing it their way, walking this together on the streets, let's get together but not together. Let's join our forces but not all in one place. Let's do it different somehow. We got to try something different.
Right.
And I know to a lot of people this is kind of weird, but the scientific evidence is mounting up all over. I don't know if you've been to our Facebook page, but a lady named Gail was just at a conference or listening to a conference, and there's a lot about frequencies and how much science is starting to flat out admit the frequency of our emotions actually affects the physical world around us. Everything is frequency. So our thoughts, our emotions, everything is connected, and it all affects everything. So if we can shift and try to get that good emotion going, God, the difference could be anybody's dream, because that's what'll happen. People will actually start dreaming again, and instead of just dreaming, they'll get up and they'll do it because they'll have the faith in humanity that they can do it, faith in themselves, the belief in the world.
Yeah. And I'm hard pressed to think of a better medium to convey that than water.
Well, yeah, exactly. And you got not only just the connectivity of water, because water's all connected in that water it has a memory and it's connected. So as water passes by something, it remembers that. Everything water touches kind of slightly changes the structure of that water, and it remembers that structure as it continues on its path. So as it passes you and you put your love in it, that love continues. But then there's also where water's connected in that somehow, some way, water here will feel whatever happens to water in Australia, say. And so by connecting with water in your own spot, you're connecting with the whole world. But then you get deeper. But we're water. So if I'm connecting with the physical lake or river, but it actually affects all water around the world, then am I actually still connecting with humanity as well? Because humanity is predominantly water. Humanity are water beings. So I don't know. I had so many good ideas I wanted to talk to you about, and I'm getting all jumbled up here. I'm not much of a public speaker.
It's all right.
But I believe so much in this idea, and it just makes sense to me. And with all the other worldwide prayers and meditations for peace going on this weekend, with Touch the Water as just part of it, though there's going to be millions of people involved in something like this weekend. And I think the world's going to see a little difference because of it. As long as some kind of black swan doesn't happen.
Well, that's one of the things I wanted to mention is that this is an excellent prequel to the Eclipse. Because the Eclipse is going to come, it's going to go. It's a phenomenon that actually has a very dark center to it.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got something that's allegedly not even naturally made, the moon. There's a very strong argument that's not even a natural celestial object, blocking out the sun in the continental United States. The first time it's happened since 1257.
I thought it was 100 years ago. It went across the same path pretty much.
No, it went through Canada and the United States in 1918, 99 years ago. The last time it was contained within what is now the continental United States was in the year 1257. Okay?
Wow.
Now, eclipses are usually associated with dark events in human history. And we talked about this earlier. 1945, the bombing of Hiroshima was within 6 months of a solar eclipse. A major solar eclipse, and in 1963 there was a major solar eclipse, and that was the assassination of Kennedy, the President Kennedy. So
and there was that one in 79 too.
Yeah, and there's some other ones where we really don't connect an event to it, but we don't really know what happened behind the scenes either.
True that.
True
that.
So.
Yeah.
So there was one in '89, I think, that was in the same category as the Kennedy and Hiroshima one. I actually did an interview about it. But anyway, back to my point is that, so Touch the Water is a great prequel to that because it is a very grounding type of exercise, and it's a kind of exercise that doesn't necessarily come and go. Now you've designated August 8th, but excuse my French, for shit's sake, you can touch the water whenever you want. With the same kind of attentions and smiles on your face. We don't have to wait for some planetary event to get us our attention or whatever, So this is something that is a great prequel to what could be described as a dark event for unification and gratitude and love and connection, that will outlive a solar eclipse, that will overshadow a solar eclipse.
I hope so, very much so. And that's one of the biggest comments I get a lot is, well, why don't you do this every day? Well, yeah, there's no reason why you can't be loving the water every day. In fact, it's actually kind of considered healthy to bless your water before you drink it. It structures the water, and it does make it better for you. Plants grow better. Everything works better with structured water, or what the Christians would call holy water.
Right.
Same difference.
Yeah.
Right? So you could do it every day. We do our one day a year as like the one event to get it, kind of everybody have fun, share their things, but there's actually no reason why you couldn't continue. And what you're saying about the eclipse is, with the way the powers that shouldn't be like keeping us in fear, they're going to try to do all the fear mongering they can about this eclipse. Something in space, this is going to happen, the sun's going to blow up, the moon's going to fart, you're going to die, whatever. They're going to throw all kinds of crap at us like that.
Yeah.
So the neat thing is starting with us before the eclipse. Maybe we get enough people, we get that love and joy going around the world before the eclipse fear starts getting out there, and maybe we can eclipse the eclipse fear.
There you go. There you go. Why not?
But there are people worldwide doing the same thing, and it just starts with us and continues all weekend. So I'm excited. It's going to be a very exciting weekend.
Yeah.
For no other reason to see all the goofy pictures on the Facebook page.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta think. I haven't thought about where I want to go or what I want to do. I'm kind of in a good spot for that though, because I'm only 20 minutes from the coast, and So there's some good places to go. There's some lakes and streams and some good places to go. I'm gonna think of something, and I'll take my camera. I'll do.
That's the beauty of this area here. There's so many lakes and streams. It's beautiful. I'm actually sitting on the edge of Flathead Lake right now, so I'll just turn the camera around and go swimming right there.
And now that's in Oregon or Washington? That's where?
In Montana.
Oh, Montana!
Right by Glacier National Park.
Oh shit, that's gorgeous up there.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is. We have what they call a mountain tax up here, though. It's really hard to make a living, but damn, those mountains are pretty, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll just be swimming here. That's the beauty of it. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I have all these beautiful thoughts in my head that's come out sometimes in type, but not very much out of my mouth.
That's
I remember
okay.
the
That's a,
girl. I started this because of my stepdaughter committed suicide, and I was kind of officiating the funeral, and I had all this beautiful stuff in my head, and I've always been decent at public speaking in that if I know what I'm talking about, I can stand up there and just talk, and I'll be fine. But I got up there, and her death wasn't real until I got there. And the only thing I can think to say is if God is love, she is one of the most perfect representations of God on earth because everything she did came from a place of love. So in a sense, all Touchwater is a dedication to my stepdaughter to try to get the world to be like she was, to be more loving to each other, to think about the other on occasion instead of the self. Maybe instead of being worried about making $5 that day, you could take the time to spend with somebody else. It's just a tiny shift in motivation that could have astronomical differences. You know, I don't know why I brought all that up, but
no,
it's
that's
just my
good. I
own.
mean, that's a genesis. That's a genesis, right? That's the beginning.
That
Yeah.
was. I actually, after the family left, about a few days after the funeral, is when the reality really hit me, and I had the thought, "What if?" And I sent that basically a shorter version of what you read at the beginning to all my friends on my phone, every single one of them, and one responded, and that was Sierra.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay, that's a cool story there.
So it would not have even gone anywhere beyond that one text if Sierra didn't say, "Hey, good idea. Let's start a Facebook page."
Wow, good for her.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then between her and this lady named Gail, that's who takes care of it, really. Those ladies are phenomenal. They both inspire me and they help me in ways I couldn't imagine. And another friend named Tracy made some videos for me that are really good videos, and she did a great job. I appreciate the hell out of her.
Yeah.
So it's that's one of the main things I wanted is no central organization because it's about individuality. It's about you showing love your way. It's about you being you. Like you were talking about earlier, people are always asking for, well, now that I know this, what do I do? Well, that's up to you,
Yeah.
right?
You're right.
Kind of, that's the whole idea behind Touch the Water. There's nothing, if you want to show love by making love to your woman in the water, hey, that's great. If it means cleaning up the lake, that's great too. If it means playing with your kids, that's great too. It's about you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want any central organization because once you get a centralized organization and you get money involved, you get other
Yeah.
motivation other
Right.
than the core.
Plus, it's
If
just a
it,
buzzkill.
it really is, man. Even as I am, how many people think I'm out just trying to get money? I'm like, no, dude, there's no way to know it, man.
Don't send me money. Don't send me
I
money.
want your money, man.
Oh, okay.
Side of the street. But yeah, my whole idea is we got to try something different. So no money, and instead of gathering in mass in one place,
Right.
gather in mass everywhere.
Right.
And instead of hey, I don't want this, I don't want this. How about let's talk about what we do want.
Yeah.
What do you want the future to look like? What's your beauty? What's your heaven look like?
Yeah.
And maybe I can help you make it.
Yeah.
And the only way we're going to ever have those conversations is to actually start thinking about having those conversations. Because right now, you look at Charlottesville, what happened there? Was there a mature exchange of ideas and information and, a coming together of different sides? No. God, man, no. We're getting the exact opposite. And it's time for those of us, and I believe that the vast majority of human beings are loving, good people who want to live and let live.
Right.
And it's time for those of us that believe like that to stand up and say, All you children, sit down, shut up. We're taking back over.
Yeah.
All you
Yeah.
greedy children, all you Antifas and whatever, Antifas, KKK, whatever,
Yeah.
whoever you are, yeah, just shut up, sit
Yeah.
down. With
Yeah.
you, it's time the good people stood up again.
Yeah. So Doug, in your you've been doing this how many years now?
This is year 3.
3 years. Okay. Has there been any other countries where you've been contacted, or other, like, is there any like standout, like for, well, the reason I ask is, like, I had this idea, oh, it'd be so cool to have one of my interviews translated into a foreign language, because I really felt like I was just talking to, just a bunch of English speaking people. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I thought, well, it'd be cool. So I kept thinking about Russia, I wanted, or Eastern Europe or something. And this guy from Turkey actually contacted me, and now I got one of my videos translated into Turkish. So I thought,
Well,
wow, that's cool. Yeah. So I was thinking, well, what about Touch the Water? Did that catch on somewhere, or did you get contacted by somebody from some other country who was really excited about it? Or I wanted to ask you about that.
the countries I know of for sure, and this is going to kind of bum you out, is England, Scotland, South Africa, and Australia. Well, those are the English-speaking ones.
Yeah.
But we got Singapore, China, Korea, Israel, a couple other African countries, and I believe we're in South America. We're literally worldwide.
Wow.
The people who have participated are literally worldwide.
Wow, that's cool.
We might be a small little spattering here and there, but
Yeah,
we're there.
but those are countries that you know of where there was some contact made or something like that about somebody talking about their location. Well, in 3 years, that's pretty good.
Well,
I mean, that's a lot of locations for 3 years, huh?
Most of it was the first year.
Wow.
I actually got a response from the Dalai Lama's representative on the first year.
Wow.
And I gave him my idea. This is what we should do, using the water as a conduit. And the only response I got is they are working on it as we speak. What that means, I don't know. I send the same person a contact each year now.
Yeah.
We're doing it. Love for you to join us.
Yeah.
There was this, it's, I like that I don't know. Really,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Number one, because it'd feed my ego too much, and I don't need that. I'm already a douche. I don't need my ego fed. So, but number two, what the way I know it'll be successful is when I go to the water and I bump into people that are there for the same reason I had no idea we're going.
Ah.
Because in the cities, right? Think about it. There's only so many parks with water. People are going to start gathering, and eventually people who are there for like-minded reasons are going to bump into each other, and that's when the conversations start. That's when we start really realizing our numbers. And that, to me, is success, is when people start bumping into each other without knowing about it.
That's cool.
That, to me, is...
Yeah.
It's...
Wow.
I like to set myself up to fail.
Well, who knows? I don't know.
I'm just in Montana. Who am I to think that anybody's going to want to do what I suggest? So it's kind of fun. I liken it to whispering in a tornado. And I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but the idea's got legs. I mean, it really does. I mean, it's profound. It doesn't ignore science. I mean, there's so many, like you said, there's so many layers to it that are very, poignant and just useful and clear and great. I mean, I love it. I think it's a great idea.
And without making anybody the central figure or anything, like, I'm the guy talking about it now because I'm the only one crazy enough to really push it. Yeah. But as people, you and Rex and other people that have more of an audience start talking about it, my role will fade, and that's good. Because
you didn't start it for it to be about you anyway. So I mean, it's a
exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, and I think that's very obvious. I mean, if somebody looks at this and thinks it's like something, like some kind of self-promotion thing, they're not listening. I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, I when I first encountered it was, Sierra said, "Oh, you got to talk to Doug about touch the water," and I looked at it, and my first impression was that it was about touching the water.
Yeah.
It wasn't about Doug.
Yeah,
It was about touching the water, and about the whole idea about how it unifies, and you can think about gratitude and love in your family and all this cool stuff that we never give ourselves time to think about, and actually have something to do that's related to that's meaningful.
And when people are in the water, they don't normally have a computer in front of their face either. Another little bonus to the whole thing.
It's water resistant. It's not waterproof.
Exactly. Don't want to test that new iPhone. Set it aside. Water.
Yeah.
I think our online world is a little bit of a problem. We need to step out of that and start talking to each other face to face.
Yeah.
We really do. Yeah. We really do, man. But I appreciate the heck out of you and Rex. You guys, have you listened to that interview I did with Rex?
No, I want to listen to it now.
That guy's character, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. And that's what I love about it, because Rex and I kind of see the world in completely different paradigms, but there's no reason why we can't come together for this.
Yeah.
No reason at all. There's absolutely no reason why anybody in the world couldn't embrace this. Like you said, it's not political, it's not religious. Nope. But I do get most of my kickback from Christians. I'm a Luciferian, apparently.
Wow.
Whatever that means.
Wow, what a stretch. Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I think, because my inspiration is Jesus. So I'm like, hey, come on, dude. Really?
Wow, what a trip. Yeah. Well, that's okay. I mean, all that stuff works itself out. I mean, in the meantime, there's lots of water.
And we can clean it, too. They're actually cleaning water with frequency. And the water the frequency that cleans the water the best is when they copy the exact same frequency the human heart puts out in a mode of love.
Can't make this shit up.
No, I wish I did. But it's out there.
Wow. Is that on your Facebook page?
Yes. There's a what's it called? Documentary about water. The Great Water documentary. I think it's probably pretty low down there, but
okay.
Start about Victor Schauberger.
Oh yeah.
The stuff going on, and in Europe, they're doing a lot more work with water than we are here in America.
Yeah.
The cabal, I don't know, the oil cabal doesn't quite have Europe as tight as it does here in America. You know what I mean?
I guess, yeah. It's weird how that is, because I haven't quite figured that out, because in some ways Europe is in worse shape than the U.S. in terms of free thinking, and then in other ways they're doing things that you'd never see here. There's quite a dichotomy on the medical side. Actually, everything, religious, political. You see some very strange, very draconian controls that are in effect over there that aren't here. But then you see some stuff over here that is not that way over there. And I noticed that in all the different categories. Like, you can go to the UK and they got more cameras there per capita than any other place on the planet. I mean, you can hardly even go to the bathroom there without being on a camera. And then their food, the food laws, it's a lot healthier to eat over there.
It is.
But it's also more restricted. Like, if you're a farmer just trying to, there's a guy, Sepp Holzer, who did permaculture over there, and they fined him because he wasn't pruning his fruit trees correctly.
What?
I shit you not.
That's a nanny state there.
Yeah. But on the other hand, if you went, if you go to eat in the same town that's trying to restrict him, you're going to have a more healthy experience with the food there than you would in the United States. So it's like all these different weird, huh?
They completely outlawed Monsanto and stuff, but then you can't say anything online negative about Islam.
Yeah. So there's all these very strange anomalous kind of things where the cabal's doing stuff, and a lot of it has to do with probably just like the psychology of the populations. So there's a reason to do it the way that they're doing it there, because the objective is control.
The
So
objective is control
right,
everywhere.
right,
And where our control is through the oil business. I mean, all of our medications are made from oil byproducts.
mm-hmm,
All the insecticides, all the fertilizers, everything's made from oil byproducts.
yeah,
Our chemotherapy is made from oil byproducts. It's like oil is in everything in America. It's like Texas took over the whole country. Yeah, we got to get past it somehow. And you think about Nikola Tesla. You know, he was about to give free power for the whole world in the early 1900s. But what was his name? Westinghouse tells him, if I can't put a meter on it, I don't want it. Cuts his funding, shuts him down. Then a couple of years, Tesla's dead, and all of his papers have disappeared. If we didn't live in a world where the primary motivation was fear and greed, if we lived in a world where the primary motivation was love and compassion, what would have happened to Tesla? We'd all be we'd be in heaven now. We'd have free energy. Everybody, all these, they cured cancer in the 30s using resonant frequencies to shatter the cancer cell, just like a singer can shatter a glass using the right resonant frequency. They can do that with cancer cells. They could do it in the 30s, but that man wound up dead and
yeah,
just totally everything gone. And of
right,
course, all his machines are gone. We have a world that's, if it wasn't for the greed and the fear, we'd already be in heaven. So let's get past the one thing that's holding us back, man. Greedy bastards, get out of the way. And, I get shit for being, well, you're not Mr. Love. You're not all that kind. No, I'm an angry douche. So I put it out there on top. I'm an angry douche. Because I am not the vision of love, man. This is to help me as much as everybody. I'm
yeah,
just a regular dude who sees problems and maybe is crazy enough to push a weird solution, but it might work. So
yeah,
what the hell? Let's all go have a day at the beach together.
yeah.
I'll throw a beach ball at
No,
you.
that's a real good point because it's like it's not this idea of solitary healing is kind of like I think it's kind of misguided in a way, because if you get everybody healed, then all the individuals get healed. If you're just trying to get if that one person that gets into this perfect state of health, then you're kind of rubbing against the grain. It's
How
like
can you
one
be
of
healthy
the
in the world?
part what.
How could you be truly healthy in an unhealthy world?
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. And I think, and it's not. I don't really. I don't. A lot of people say, "Oh, that's such a utopian idea." I said, "Well, I'm not. I don't really have anything against utopian ideas. I think humans are the one species probably. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's not the right way to put it. But we're capable of not only envisioning utopia, and we're also capable of creating it.
Yes,
And we just
that's
need
the
to give ourselves credit and the permission to think that way and to act that way. And
Mhm.
to be fair, it's never really been tried because of the problem of like we were saying before, is everybody's trying to give their power away, and have somebody else fix their problems and not take responsibility for their own creations and whatever. But it's very doable. It's very doable, and there's so many people on the planet right now that a tipping point could be quite a profound thing. It's not it's not in the dark ages where the population is some like insignificant fraction of what it is right now, and plus you've got all these billions of people on the planet that are actually connected to each other by virtue of the internet. So
Mhm.
you talk about global consciousness, or the potential for global consciousness is there. So ideas like what you're talking about are never really used to be feasible like they are now. So
No,
you get something like this going to a tipping point, and then you just got to get out of the way because it's going to happen no matter how many Dougs are hanging around, how many angry Dougs are out there. It doesn't matter anymore because it's gone.
gotta hope
It's
there's
it's
not too
gone.
many.
It's gone viral. Right?
Well, and that's like you're saying too about giving your power away. That's another thing beauty about no money involved. Because when we give money away to a good cause, it makes us feel good like we did something good. But we don't know exactly what that money's going to, do we?
Well, and
I mean,
also psychologically, it's like, okay, I did that, and you can just
yeah,
kind of wipe your hands of it. Like, oh, I gave it to the American Heart Association. I don't care if they're crooks. It's the intention that counts. Oh, let's go
yeah.
have coffee, or
I'm a
whatever.
good guy. I'm a good guy. I've done my good thing. I can go slap that kitty. So no, but with no money, if you want to donate to Touch the Water, you got to get off your butt and donate in action. There's no money donation whatsoever.
Right,
If you want to help Touch the Water, it's about you doing action.
right,
And that's the only way, but that's the only way an idea like Touch the Water will work too. It can't be one person saying, this is my idea, this is how you're going to do it. It's got to be the general idea thrown out there and everybody doing it their own way. And like an anthill will get built,
right.
with everybody putting their own little piece of sand on and through their action. Not, okay, here's my $100. I've given to the Red Cross to help the 9/11 victims. Gee, I'm glad they got new computers at the Red Cross. I know there's some very good charities out there. I'm not disparaging all charities by saying this, but then there's too many Clinton foundations too. So why
Yeah.
take a chance?
Yeah.
Why take a chance? And that's for your protection as well as anybody else's.
Yeah.
Why should you take your hard-earned money and give it to some guys who's going to snip it up his nose for coke? I mean, you think you're giving to a good cause, but then so many times does not turn out that way. And it's my way of trying to admitting my angry douchiness and flat out refusing any money is my way of trying to prove that I'm not here for self-aggrandizement or to build any kind of church or, of course, if there's any single women that want to move to Montana. Other than that, joking.
Nice. Yeah, right.
I'm trying to start a church or like that, man. I just think this idea could really work if we could get enough people to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really like the story about you sending it out on your phone and Sierra replying, being the only one to reply. I love that. That's great.
I was over 100 people too, and one replied.
Wow.
But then, like I told you last time, she's kind of my muse.
Mm-hmm.
I've known her for years, a good 10 years, 9 years now, but we've always kind of had a little bit of a distance between us. So we never got close enough to have those arguments. But we had a bit of a distance to be inspired, and it helped.
Have you met her in person?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's how I met her, actually. I used to frequent the place she worked at.
When she lived in Montana.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I saw her a bit. But since she left Montana, we've kind of been a little separated.
Yeah.
But it's been a very inspirational relationship. I don't know how to explain it, but she's one of those people that makes me believe in myself. And she does it in a simple, without blowing smoke up your ass kind of way, She does. Yeah. And without her, there's no way it'd be where it is. No way. Yeah, and good. Gail, I got to give Gail and Tracy their credit too, because they've done a lot of work as well.
Yeah.
But then you think about it. Who else is doing work? I got a guy I just get this message. I forwarded this to 10,000 light workers. Okay. I don't know what that means. and what does that mean about their audience and all that? So, like Eric was joking with Sierra that I keep bugging Eric to talk about it. But my video with Leak Project has over 40,000 views. And Eric's, well, maybe I should get Doug. He don't have I'm thinking, my crowd, I might get 10%. I talk to 100 people, 10 people might be interested in it. If Eric talks to his crowd, 100% of his crowd is going to be interested in it. So that was my thinking there. But yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've learned with Sierra that people come into your life for a reason.
Oh yeah.
They do.
Yes.
And that lesson. Once you learn that lesson, though, man, it's so enlightening.
Yeah, it can be a little scary too sometimes.
A little bit, because some of the lessons you got to learn are not fun.
Yeah.
But once you know that they're there for a reason, and you find that reason, it
Yeah.
just solidifies. I don't know.
It makes me
No.
pay attention more.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes
Yes.
me like I start, it makes me pause and go, well, what about this, And I had that not only with people, but like just a few weeks ago, I had a encounter with snakes, of all things.
All right.
Yeah, and now I have a pet snake. I mean, this like, I'm sure that there's more meaning, there's more to that story than I'm aware of, but I'm thinking of it in those terms. Like, well, why did this happen? This is not just some fluky thing, There's a reason for it, or there's more meaning to it than whatever. But anyway, just it makes life interesting when you start thinking in terms of like what you said. People come into your life and there's a reason for it. There's something's going on there you need to pay attention to.
There is true meaning, and that's
Yeah.
one of the biggest problems with today's society, I think, is some people can call it the lack of religion. I would call it more of a lack of spiritual knowledge, in that if your God is science and you die and there's nothing, there is no real meaning to this life. And people are losing that meaning. And we need to, I don't know, it's somehow we got to get our spirituality back somehow. Without the dogma of religion being shoved down our throat, we gotta get closer to God in whatever name you call him.
Mm-hmm.
You can call him a doorknob for all I care.
Or her. Or her.
Or her.
Yeah.
Or her. Or the androgynous one. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care, honestly. As long as it leads you to a place of love, good for me, man.
Yeah.
I don't understand these people. Like I said, the Christians. Man, I've been called a Luciferian a lot lately.
Yeah, but there's a lot of Christians out there you'll never hear from because they think it's a perfectly fine idea and they don't really have much to say about it. So, I mean, there's all those vocal minority, right? They think they've got their finger on the pulse of something, and so they need to save you from yourself, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But, I mean, actually, I think those a lot of those people are in smaller numbers than we give them credit for.
I think, too, I had a thought while I was watching a podcast earlier today. You get a crowd together, and the power that shouldn't be doesn't want something to happen. They put in agent provocateurs to rile things up.
Absolutely.
How many of these trolls online are actually just cyber agent provocateurs sent there by the powers that shouldn't be just to piss people off?
Oh, yeah.
That. And if you start thinking about that, you start looking at these angry comments that are everywhere. It doesn't matter what the video is about. There's somebody's having a heart attack about it and just pissed off or offended or something. I just found this beautiful kitty. That's a cat. It's diseased. Okay, buddy.
Well, yeah.
It doesn't matter what you make your video about. There's somebody who's going to be pissed off. And how much of this is contrived is what I'm starting to think about.
Yeah. I don't know the numbers, but it's probably higher than we'd like to admit.
Very much so. I mean, we already know that the government employs internet trolls.
Yeah.
We know that for a fact. So how much of it is just all agent provocateurs just trying to piss us off?
Right.
And it's so much easier to get mad at something online than when you're talking to them face to face.
Oh, no kidding. No
So
kidding. Yeah. That's one of the reasons I like Skype, because it's like, it's not perfect, but it's a little bit of an antidote to that issue, because you could see your face, see you talk. You can see my face, see me talk. And it's like puts a little more of a personal edge on it and kind of gets you away from this whole thing of hiding behind my keyboard, and all that kind of nonsense, So
we're a lot meaner when they're hiding behind their keyboard.
Yeah. And I can guarantee you too that like on my channel, like if you and I were within a couple hours distance driving each other, we would be doing this interview in person.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I do. I will travel. I'll get in my car or motorcycle, whatever, and I'll drive over there with my camera gear, and we'll sit down and we'll do the interview in person for that same reason that you're talking about. It's a whole different dynamic, and it's so nice for people to be able to look over the shoulder and see that happen. The two people get together, have a real conversation,
And
person
nobody
to
gets
person.
bloody.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody maced or bloody. What? Whoa! How?
Yeah.
What? Is this come on. I'm confused.
I'm confused.
Help me out.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
oh.
I wanted to do this interview with you before August 20th. We did the earlier one, and I wanted to I want to freshen things up a little bit, get the word out there again. I think it's very key day just before the eclipse for people to go touch the water, get grounded, think about what's important, and then we can go have our once every 1,000-year event in darkness out there, whatever, with the other 100 million people that are driving all over, the planet to go see this thing. And but the water's everywhere. The water,
We can wrap the world with a little love before all the crazies come out for the eclipse.
Exactly, exactly. So I'm behind you, brother.
I
And
appreciate that, Danny.
yeah,
And I enjoy the hell out of talking to you, man. That's cool. That's cool. I wish sometime we had a talk and I'll have more of an idea like points to talk about instead
no,
of
you
just
you
rambling.
did you did fine. As long as they're smiling, it's all good.
That may be one of our problems with this world. We're so interested in being perfect, we don't know how to screw up and enjoy it. And screwing up is when most of the fun happens.
That's right. That's
It's when
right.
some of the best discoveries are made. Is when you screw up. Plastic was a mistake. So, come on, man. We got to be able to screw up a little and
Right. And then
have
laugh
fun.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got lots of bullet holes in my foot, and they're funny looking to me. So I'm the king of shooting myself in the foot.
All right. Well, yeah, okay. Well, I'm looking forward to August 20th, and
Touch the water.
we'll do it again. And
I
and
like
I
that.
and I want to thank everybody for joining us again. And don't forget to touch the water. Bye,
Please
everybody.
share.
All right. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Doug.